So what do you want to do for dinner to... Excuse me. Oh, my head. Oh, God. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm an American who's lived in the UK for almost 10 years, and today it is very hot outside, so I am decked out in my sunglasses and my swimsuit for this video on funny or strange things that British people do or say in the heat. Now, coming from Florida, I definitely have a different way of dealing with the heat than a lot of people I meet in the UK. Completely different climates, completely different infrastructure, completely different ways of dealing with the heat. This video is tongue-in-cheek, no harm intended, it's all in good fun, and also I do a lot of these things as a quasi-Brit now too. So I just thought, given the fact that it is feeling pretty scorching hot today, I would take advantage and go ahead and whip out the camera and my paddling pool coming later to do this fun little video. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is actually something that you all taught me as my YouTube community. So as I said, I have a paddling pool out back, and I have always known it in the UK to be called a paddling pool, and it just never made sense to me because paddling in the US is like, you need to be fully submerged in water, like paddling with your arms, which is not possible in a pool like my paddling pool. However, you all pointed out that the word paddling in the UK is used more like we use the word wading in the US, meaning simply like getting your ankles wet and walking around in the water, in which case it makes so much more sense why it's called a paddling pool. So maybe another word Americans might use would be something like a wading pool. But like I said, this is one of those words that I have lived here for almost 10 years. Still did not understand that paddling in the UK meant what I think of as wading. So you learn something new every day. Thank you all for pointing that out. Hey, do you think you could get that spreadsheet done by Friday? Mate, it's gonna be sunny on Friday, so no. But it's due into the big boss by then. Nope. So I'm not gonna make it to that really important event you have at the weekend. The sun's out. You mean my wedding? Yeah, not gonna make it. Okay, but why? The sun is out. Okay, on to the strange or funny things that British people do in the heat or when the sun comes out. The first one is basically ditching everything on the schedule as soon as the sun comes out. It is like the bat signal for everybody to drop everything. I don't care if you're in an office, I don't care if you're like signing important paperwork, everyone just like drops what they're doing. I mean, on a day like this when it's really hot, people kind of tend to be a bit like sluggish, and maybe you're not doing stuff because it is so hot. But on a typical kind of nice sunny weather, hot day, you will see people packing the parks, packing the beaches. When I was in London, my mom came to visit one time and it was May, like late May, and the sun had come out for the first time in months basically. And everybody was out in the parks. And my mom, seeing all these people, was like, oh, what event is happening? You know, there must be something going on. And I was like, that's literally because the sun came out. Everybody dropped everything they were doing at work, left to go flock to the parks and hang out. So it is pretty socially acceptable here to ditch a lot of stuff to go and take advantage of the sun or of the heat. So I think we should probably have people over on the Sunday because it's not supposed to be like as scorching hot as Monday. But Monday's supposed to be the hottest day of the year. Yeah, which is probably gonna be uncomfortable for our guests, so we should probably do it. We'll do it Monday. But it's gonna be 32 degrees Celsius. Exactly. Why can't we do it on the other day when it's gonna be a more comfortable 26 degrees with some clouds in the sky? It's still gonna be hot. Must soak up every degree of warmth possible. The next thing I have on my list, again, is kind of a strange thing to me as a Floridian because on the hottest days of the year, we tend to stay inside. Now, staying inside in Florida is very different from staying inside in the UK, as we'll get to air conditioning in a little bit. But in general, the idea of like picking the absolute hottest day or the hottest part of the day to sit out in the sun feels like such a British thing. I Like, my husband will say, you know, we'll try and plan something, and he'll purposely look for like the absolute hottest day. And I'm like, but that's not actually going to be like that nice. We're all just gonna be like sweltering. But there's just something about being British that I feel makes you kind of just feel like you need to take advantage of the hottest part of the day, the hottest day of the year. Like, you need to be out there enjoying it, even if you are just like just sweating and sweating outside. It's just part of the summer experience here. Well, there goes our summer. One day of summer. Summer in England. See you all next year, because summer is apparently over. Oh, it's kind of chilly. Not exactly summer weather in July, is it? Oh my word, it's hot out there. Can't wait for some cooler weather. Okay, so the third thing British people tend to do in the heat is complain about how hot it is, but only after having complained previously about how not hot it was or how it didn't feel like summer. So it's kind of just part of this whole tradition of moaning about things as a British person. Again, it's part of the culture, and it just means it gives you something to talk about at all times. So everybody's saying, oh, the summer hasn't come yet. Oh, we only have one day of summer. And then the summer comes, sweltering heat, and it's too hot for everybody. And everybody's just wishing for the cold weather to come back, which I think is funny and really ties into the fact that you can always be talking about the weather in the UK, because you can almost always wish for different weather. You almost will never hear people say like, oh, like perfect weather today. Like, I hope it would last like this forever. It's always too cold, too hot, been cold for too long, been hot for too long. There's always something to talk about. Man, it's hot in here. Britain really isn't built for the heat. Just open a window. But it's also hot outside my window. Just open a window. But there's no breeze. What is opening a window gonna do? If you open the window at exactly 6:34 a.m. and then run all the way to the back of the house to close all the curtains but leave like 1 millimeter open just for some, just do that. And then go ahead to the top window and you're gonna go ahead and like do a karate roll into opening that window, and then downstairs later on, 4 hours and 3 minutes later, then you just go back downstairs and then you close that window and then you open it again, and then you're fine. You open a window. It's all fine. Okay, well now my window is open, the flies are having a field day in the kitchen, and I'm still hot. Just open a window. Okay, the fourth thing British people do or say in the heat, and this is something that I am going to have to say I do not understand still, is this idea that you just open a window to solve all the problems. So that is the response to everything. We'll just open the window. We just open the windows. We don't need air conditioning because we have windows that we can open. And I do understand that that works on a day with like a cool breeze, but on a day like today, there's pretty much no breeze here. It is sweltering hot, and opening a window is just not really doing it for me. But this is always people's response when people from abroad come to the UK and have suggestions about maybe ways that people could cool down, or maybe talking about air conditioning or things like that. The response is always, always, always open a window, close some curtains, and those probably do help, and we do those in my house as well. But it's just funny that that is like the catch-all solution to it being hot, is just open a window. Man, we need some air conditioning. We don't need air conditioning. It doesn't get hot enough. I'm fine. But it's hot enough right now. It only gets hot enough like one day of the summer. It's fine. Air conditioning is for babies. I'm fine. You just told me you didn't sleep a single second last night and woke up in a pool of your own sweat mixed with melted ice packs. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm just saying air conditioning could help with that. Nope, don't need it. I'm fine. But you can't argue that it'd be more convenient. Convenience is for the weak. Also, if we had air conditioning, there'd be nothing we could complain about. Good point. And the next thing that British people do in the heat, similar to the window situation, is suffering through on purpose without air conditioning. Now, I completely understand. Well, I don't necessarily understand, but I do understand to a point why air conditioning is not standard in British homes. Fine, it's a different climate, but you can purchase air conditioners that are kind of portable air conditioners. I've got one right here. You wouldn't think that an American in the UK would not have an air conditioner, would you? That would be silly. And so, you know, if you can't afford it, again, that's a different story. But I feel like there are plenty of people here who can afford an air conditioner or some sort of air conditioning unit, but they choose to suffer through just because, for no real reason, because admitting that they want slash need slash would find an air conditioner enjoyable is kind of like giving up your British card. It's like they're part of being British seems to be suffering just so you can complain about the suffering. And I've talked about this with my husband and we laugh about it. And again, no harm intended. This is a funny pointing things out video. Americans do plenty of strange things, but this is one of those strange things that I find about British people where I'm like, it would be so much more convenient and nice if you had an air conditioner, and I know you can afford it, and I know that part of you wants one, but you're just not willing to admit it because you're too British and everything's fine. Hey, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? Barbecue, duh. What do you want to do for dinner tonight? Barbecue, duh. What do you want to do for dinner tonight? I know it's the third day of sun, but I feel like we should give the barbecue a little bit of a rest. No, barbecue. I'm guessing you want a barbecue for dinner tonight. No, I don't want to have a barbecue tonight by ourselves. I want to have a barbecue tonight and invite all of my friends over. Okay, the next thing that British people do in the heat or in the sun is barbecue. The answer to everything is barbecue. You in the summer are going to be invited to barbecues. That is just what happens. And I love that about the UK, where it's just like as soon as the sun comes out, you start smelling the barbecues in the neighborhood, and it is an excuse to fire up the coals, get people around, and they don't get sick of it. It's like, we're gonna barbecue every single time it's sunny from now until, well, maybe next week, depending on how long it's sunny in the UK. But barbecue, 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 barbecue is always the answer. If you go to the grocery store or supermarket on a hot weekend day and you don't go early enough, they're gonna be sold out of so much. We went the other day when it was really hot on like a Saturday afternoon. There were no rolls, there was no corn. They like almost didn't even have any burgers left. Everybody just barbecue, barbecue, barbecue is the answer to everything in a British summer. Did you know Marjorie's going to Tenerife next month? Isn't that great? Oh, that's nice. Who's Marjorie? Marjorie from number 8 down the road. Oh, didn't realize you spoke to Marjorie. Wasn't it just yesterday you were telling me that you went 3 miles out of your way to avoid seeing her in her driveway on your way home? What? No, Marjorie, she's the best. What? Oh, sun's out. Okay, the next thing that British people do in the heat is, I feel like everybody just gets a little bit more friendly and open and starts like saying hi to people and chatting. So, you know, in different parts of the UK, there are different cultures around this type of openness and friendliness. So I'll specifically talk about in the southeast of England, where it is definitely a little bit more of a closed off kind of culture. The sun comes out and people act like they've been friends for years. People are like waving hello as they're walking their dogs. All these things that don't happen when it's like gray or overcast or miserable in the winter. The sun comes out and instantly people are smiling, people are laughing, people are talking to random strangers, and it's just like a really nice atmosphere in the UK when it's sunny. Why does everyone have their shirts off? It's hot. Why are they sunbathing in the front yard for all the neighbors to see? It's hot. Why is he eating an ice cream cone at 8 a.m. on a commuter train? It's hot. Okay, the next thing that happens in the UK when it's sunny is I feel like there's all of a sudden like a lack of rules. Anything goes. So you have your shirt off walking into the local co-op? Sure, go ahead. It's hot outside. The neighbor is literally sunbathing in your front yard, even though there's a backyard slash garden. fine, whatever. No one's gonna make a big deal because it's sunny and we don't care. So again, and this goes along with the like ditching everything when it's sunny, the rules of society and life just fade away when it's hot. Do what you want. We're all just gonna kind of try and stay cool and let you get on with it. And that's another funny part of Britain in the summer.
You should really put some SPF 50 on. The sun can really damage your skin.
Hello, this is England. It's gonna rain in 10 minutes anyway.
The forecast is sun all day. Are you sure you don't want some?
Do you really think I'm gonna put something in between this UV starved skin and those glorious rays? I think not.
You're gonna get burned.
No, I'm not.
Think I got away with it.
The last thing I have on my list has to do with sunburns because let's face it, British people are known worldwide for being the ones who get sunburned, particularly when they go on vacation or holiday. But also I feel like even in the UK, this has started to happen to me pretty often. In Florida, I was just used to always lathering up like sunscreen all of the time, doesn't matter. Here, I'm kind of like, maybe there's like a cloud overhead. It's the UK, how long can this last? And I don't put sunscreen on to the same extent that I used to, which is not good, but has ended up with me. It's been so hot, I'm losing my words. It ends up with me being sunburned like a tomato, just like all the Brits out there with, you know, because I didn't take precautions and actually it was sunnier than I thought. So I just feel like there is something quintessentially British summer about a sunburn. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my video on funny things I've noticed about British people in the heat. I am literally about to go in the pool for real and enjoy. So I hope everybody stays cool wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys next time.